Welcome everyone, welcome YouTube, Avsteris is here. So we just finished the last home train on the Commander difficulty with the permadeath. Alright, supposed to be hardest difficulty. Spent 56 hours for the game. Gonna share my thoughts on it, gonna try to rate it, here we go. So initially when I started playing the game, my initial thoughts were, okay, this game is like, it's a good game, but it's not like, definitely not a masterpiece. And it's about 7 out of 10 if you rate it, right, more or less 7 out of 10. There was a question to the combat system, there was a question, you know, how much of like, I was spending the time initially at the start of the game to trying to manage every scene. And we had in my first like 4 or 6 hours, we have only 2 fights. It was like 8 hours, 2 fights or something. So a lot of management, not much of fights, and fight was very basic that is. And after in a mid game when I really get into the game itself, my opinion about the game is definitely skyrocket. I was just again, I wouldn't deem it as a masterpiece, but I was rating it 8 out of 10. I spent like 10 hours per day streaming it on Twitch, and I really did like it. I really get into it. I like the management stuff, and I like the combat. We got to level 3 snipers, and level 3 snipers was doing basically 80% of all work on the map. But after I played the game more and more, I did realize its shortcomings, and my opinion about this dropping down slightly bit. It's still a good game, but it is solid 7 out of 10. The last part of the game was greatly disappointed. We supposedly did play it on the hardest difficulty on Commander. The one thing I can... but Commander difficulty is... only 100% resources consumption, when you can manually tick it to 150. I would recommend, if you're playing, if you want a maximum experience, maximum difficulty out of this, I would recommend it to tick this 100% to 150% resource consumption. However, that will not change anything, because we had plenty of resources left after, even consuming on them in higher rate will not be will leave you so much resources, right? So that's the problem. They need to tweak the difficulty of this. I was initially sort of with this game as survival game, you know, like there's cold. It's remind me a lot of a Frostpunk, and it was okay. So we need to prepare for winter, prepare for the Siberia trip. People gonna be dying. I got all of this winter clothes, I got all this insulation, all this best heating for my train as soon as possible. And when it came to Siberia, when the cold actually hit us, I was like, okay, this is like not doing much to me. And we have so much resources. I never put guys on half rations or no rations. They were having full rations, and we have like what another 50 days or so available food for. I had 2 storage cars because I was running out of space to store everything. That one thing about what we done in the game differently, maybe like other people gonna do, maybe not. We stuck with my basic train, because changing any other train, and deem it was kind of like a trap from developers. You know, you kind of see a better train, but it's not actually better. It has its own shortcomings, so we stuck with a basic train, and its maximum speed was like 60 km per hour. And we still have, there's those last missions will be time limited, right? And still have plenty of times, like 3 more days or something, before we arrived, you know, before our ship going back. So the difficulty of the game need to be tinkered with. by the developers, the difficulty of the management part, so we actually can make this game survival game. This was really a big disappointment that there was no survival even playing on hardest difficulty, no survival at all. The combat is a different story altogether. So you already heard that sniper combat is the predominant combat here, scout sniper combat. On level 3 you get a one-shot skill, guarantee hit, guarantee kill, unless you shoot in some officers of a Red Army, quest officers. There was a point when I shot every single target before that officer I was killing with one shot, and then shot the other officer. There was a quest to kill the Morozov guy, yeah. I shot him and the sniper didn't kill him with one shot. I was like, what the fuck? And the sniper died because there was machine gun position and couldn't run fast. So, but yeah, basically the combat definitely need to be tinkered. I like the stealth part. It reminds me a lot of Shadow of Gambit, Shadow of Tactics, Shogun, Desperados, all of these me games, tactical games. The stealth combat definitely could take some pointers from Shadow of Tactics. Like you don't need to switch between enemies every time to check out the view cones. You just scan, select the enemy and constantly checking out this view cone, you know, permanently checking it until you select it and select another enemy. So this is our route that we took, by the way. Take the longer route by safer route over here, which wasn't that safe, but whatever, and shorter route over here after Cheetah. Anyway, so enemy with a sniper combat, enemy can be lured out of their position and kite indefinitely. You get into the view cone for a short duration, then going back, and they are going to check your position, and you can ping-pong this, play cat and mouse with those enemy patrols indefinitely. They need to fix it. They need to make it so like enemy can go, like, for example, for 20 seconds be distracted with this, or can go for not farther than like 50 meters out from his post. We should have enemies that will by any circumstances will not leave their post, and the duration of this enemy going from alerted state to actually combat ready state, when you see your guys, when the guys like sneaking, should be not as 3 seconds like the game currently have, but should be like twice shorter. And it should be like, maybe if you try to kite enemy, should be cumulative effect, right? If the enemy saw you going into bushes right in front of them and hid there, they should go through the bushes and check these bushes. The vehicle should have a radius of basically the vehicle, if your sniper staying in stealth, the vehicle can spot them even if they getting closer to them. All other enemies have some inner circle detection radius. When they get too closer to your snipers, to enemies that hidden, they can actually spot them, but not the vehicles. And the vehicles, you know, like when you see the tank driving right straight at you, and it's like driving behind, right nearby you, and he didn't spot you, or it didn't like the collision when the tank hit you, unit didn't happen. He just like run around you. You know, like it's like it's like, what, really? You didn't got like squashed by the tank? He didn't saw you, but was kind enough to just drive around you. So I think they need to add the collision with the vehicles as well, so you can just ram people, and enemy can ram you. Also the scouts towers, right? The observation towers mechanic. It's good when you have this, right? But if an enemy have a observation tower, it's not influence on the movement or on. Basically, those towers do nothing for enemy. They can't see you with, inside those observation towers, so it was also very questionable. I think they need to tweak them. So you need to always, if you see enemy have observation towers, you need to be very careful around it, and you need to be try to sneak and capture it as fast as possible, so enemy will not see, not have this vision over the map, right? I think that should be like tweaking the combat, make it a little bit better. It's around, if you're trying to rate the combat itself of the game, so at the beginning of the game this was like a 4 out of 10, right? You have the best units were riflemen, because they have charge insta kill ability, especially if you charge in short distances. But after we reached the snipers to level 3, snipers were the best unit. In between, the machine gunners can do the stuff, but snipers with a dead zone on level 4 can kill all those enemy machine gunners out of their range. You know, that's like so cheating as well. They need to reduce the dead zone range as well. It should be as big as enemy machine gunner, because like that's the dangerous element, and you need to be very careful about those machine guns, maybe trying to get them with grenade, or trying to circumvent about this, because this game is about survival, not to get this unnecessary risk, right? Which is game trying to tell us at the beginning, don't take unnecessary risk, better to run around the enemies, but we ended up killing everything. No shortage on supplies, no shortage on ammunition, which is I was like trying. At the beginning of the game, I thought we were gonna be running out of ammunition and all the supplies really fast. We didn't, and we brought all of this vodka we could for getting the morale, higher morale, because I saw my troops gonna be losing morale with, during the long journey, very fast, very you know, random, and we need like vodka to get the morale up. Never happened. Nobody deserved because of morale. There was like some points in a game when we lost like 50% of morale, but it's like was scripted, and I think they need to do banish this random events and stuff better, so we get like this morale would be actually a threat. You know, losing the morale will be actually a threat, which has never happened. Yeah, so like disappointed in the combat part, disappointed in the more management part, which was a biggest part of the game, the management, but it was lacking. It was pretty basic indeed, and I still say the game is a 7 out of 10. I think it's how developers can tweak those shortcomings, and if they're gonna be working on it, gonna listen to community, I see with the patching, and maybe in half a year and a year the game will be a masterpiece we were expecting it to be. But so far there is still some questionable decisions were made, and there are bugs. Let me tell you, there are some bugs in the game, and some people even reporting the bugs that corrupting the save files, which is pretty bad. This is more or less everything I wanted to say about the game. Still didn't enjoy it, still played like for 10 hours per day more or less until we finish it. And someone told me that the game would be like 100 hours of content worth, but we done it for 56 hours, and I was like pretty, you know, pretty slow with management, pretty slow in combat, because at the moment we got the scout ability and level 3 snipers, I was scouting the map with all the snipers, very slow, getting all the loot possible. So the real content, people can probably finish this in around 30 hours, which is okay in terms of price-wise. The game's actually cheap. So I'm very satisfied, price-wise and quality-wise. We got a good value out of it. Got a good value. Hopefully that my comments will be helpful to you. and I definitely missed some points that I wanted to mention about the game, but it's we already just finished the game, and it's getting late here, and I'm pretty much out of words out of idea what else I wanted to say. Pretty tired basically.